Hello, my friends. So today's date is October the 23rd. Hello to Autumn and hello to Libras. This is a birthday reading for you if this is your birth date, September the 23rd. This is a four-card pull, a general energy card for the year, a challenge you might face this year, an action you can take to stay in balance this year, and an outcome or a synopsis card. So, what is the general energy card for the year? It is the shadow. And what does that speak about? Well, a lot of the things we do not like about ourselves are in the shadow, the things we hate. Ask yourself, what do you hate about yourself? And you're immediately going to come up against your shadow. So the shadow holds those things that we hate about ourselves, the things that we deny about ourselves, the things we wish to not have anybody see about ourselves, those unspeakable parts of ourselves. And we often think that we can, you know, call light into this area and just open it up and blast it open and do bring light to all of our problems on some level, but that's also creating its own sense of problems, because if you look at it that way, you think your shadow are horrible things that you need to get rid of, that you need to vanquish, but yet the shadow is more about those pains that we have found in our life, those traumas that we have found in our lives, those ugly words that other people have fed us and we've chosen to believe about ourselves, those concepts that were given to us by our society or our family or our friends or our culture or our religion or even ourselves and just our friends that say, we are bad, we are unworthy, we are unlovable. Those things hide in the shadow. And they're here to actually help us to heal. And if we can honestly go in with great delving, to look with great compassion and great interest in what the shadow has to talk to us about, if we go in as friends to our shadow, as healers to our shadow, as adults to our shadow, and a lot of our shadow is just child energy that has been hurt in the process of growing up, and it doesn't understand how to deal with the pains that it felt it had to absorb, and the wrongs that it did in its trials and errors that it had to eat and hide, that eats inside now. So this is a year of being able to look at your shadow deeply, and the choice to either go into your shadow with great light and compassion and listen for a better understanding of what the shadow has to speak to you about, and learn how to love it and forgive it and have compassion for it and use it as an ally, because on some level, a lot of what our shadow says, sometimes you need to use these kind of things as allies for you, but you don't want them to run your life, you don't want them to run your thoughts, you don't want them to run your keep you in your fear and keep you in your guilt and keep you in your shame and keep you in your just near grief that you want to just cry. You want to heal these things so you can be more fully alive and give to the things that you want to pursue the energy that they need. A lot of shadow takes our energy because it hides back there, but it's not hiding. It's still fomenting. It's still angry. It's still sad. It's still resentful. It has all the characters of pain and trauma that we often don't like seeing in ourselves or seeing in others, and we think that they're less than or they're unequal to and they're bad things. So, what do you get to work on as your challenge this year, September 23rd? Well, it's the Four of Swords. Normally this card would be saying it's time to take a rest. It's time to shut your mind down. Swords are minds. Swords are intellect. Swords are how we analyze things. Swords are the words we create to make understanding in our reality and to make our reality happening. But it's time to shut down your mind, go inward into retreat, put your swords down. You don't need to fight, but that's your challenge. Do you want to fight? There's something inside of you that wants to fight. There's something inside of you that's anxious. There's something inside of you that may be really screaming at you, but you're not willing to really necessarily go into the shadow of what is screaming at you so you can heal something. It's time to heal something, but you're not really necessarily willing to look at it. So, how do you come about to find a place where you can find some relaxation? How can you find some trust in your space and in your time and in your and into your dimension so you can really do the work you need to do and come to a better place within yourself. This is a time that's asking you to do some healing work on yourself and to not be so bound by your anxieties, to not be so bound by your fears, to not be so bound by your negative judgments of yourself or others, to not be so bound by your shame of the things that you might have done to get you to where you need to be. If you can open any of these things up to the light, then you have the power to bring grace to them. You have the power to bring forgiveness to them. You have the power to bring love to them and free up energy for yourself and heal yourself and learn how to not only have compassion for yourself but have compassion for others. It's a great teaching year for you if you allow yourself to be quiet and listen and go inward. But that's your challenge, to be quiet and relax and shut your mind down and listen to your emotions and listen to your shadow and let those things percolate up so whatever is ready to show you right now, you can breathe through. Breathe into and breathe through so you can not see it from a traumatized place. You cannot see it from an anxious place. The deeper you breathe, the more you breathe, the more you connect your breath and you don't forget to breathe. As you look at these things, the better you are in your own health and consciousness. So what's the action to take? Well, it's the antelope. An antelope is one of its attributes is swift action. These things are calling for you to have swift action this year. And how do you take swift action if you're bound up in your shadow fears or if you're bound up in your shadow judgments? Well, you have to do that work so that you can take the quick actions to go inward and look at yourself and then make the choice of how to go forward quickly. So this is an outside action, but it's also an inside action. You need to take the actions to do some healing work for yourself. And what does that mean? So you can get so you can have your full energy back to you. You can't keep giving your energy to all these negative shadow things that are holding you. And you have to learn to actually bring them forward so you can release your energy so you can go forward with the light and the power. This is the synopsis card. This is a beautiful soul card. It has no description, only that what is intuitive. So something is calling you to be a shining light for yourself and for others. Something is calling you to be a guiding principle for yourself and others. Something is calling you to enact your highest angels, your highest consciousness, and lead others to a place of witness, to lead others to a place of joy and compassion, to lead others to a place of healing. I think you're being taken on your journey of healing your shadow so that you can emerge as the leader and the healer and the truth teller and the light way shower for others. And I think this is going to open a whole new realm for you of deepening your spiritual practices and sharing your spiritual practices with the world on some level, whatever that means. Maybe it's just one other person. Maybe it's just you. But maybe it's a lot more people than that. But there's something inside of you that's saying, you have to do this work now. You have to quiet your mind. You have to listen to your soul. You have to heal and forgive and love some of these issues that are in your shadow that don't need to be hated, that don't need to be denied, that don't need to be hidden, that don't need to be thought of as evil and darkness and beyond redemption, because a lot of them are just the wounds of life that are calling for us to be kind to them about, because they didn't have the right path at the time. They didn't have the best understandings at the time. They didn't have the most easy way to cope with things at the time. And they shoved things back into the shadow, back into the box, back into the place to hide them. And you can go in there with the light now. You can bring light to yourself and light to others. You can show the way how to Heal the pains, heal the inner pains that keep you from being authentic and true and your most vibrant and your most active, because the antelope is saying you need to have swift action, and this being is saying you need to light the light for yourself and others, and there are things calling you to do that right now. So do your work, do your love, do your looking within, honor your shadow, and be at peace the best you can. Continue to work on that. Continue to breathe deeply as you go along, and you will be able to face what comes to you. Ahoma Takwiyasa.